Now, I know what you might be thinking. Wow, look at this idiot, thinking his opinion on a Pokemon game matters. And you know what? You're goddamn right it does. For once in my life, I actually have a lot I want to say about a game that goes beyond just screaming at Mario, because honestly, this one kind of took me by surprise. That doesn't really tend to happen with games like this that often. So while I could sit here and just tease you forever in this intro, let's cut it short so we can jump right into this. Should also mention, while I won't be going into any specifics about the story itself, this video is obviously spoiler territory, so watch at your own risk, or don't, or I don't know. It's been like weeks. Catch up! Pokemon Legends Arceus is the most recent installment in the Pokemon franchise, and was, as per tradition, initially met with applause and praise, right alongside disgust and laughter, which funnily enough feels somewhat reminiscent of my own life experiences. The Pokemon fanbase has this wonderful way of completely dividing its player base for every single release, which, for someone like me, who barely pays attention to Pokemon, is actually kind of hilarious. Like, yes, Twitter frogs, get mad at each other for my entertainment. I will admit, though, I wasn't exactly on the positive side of that split initially when it comes to Legends Arceus. I was pretty on board the, wow, this game looks like it runs at 15 FPS hype train. Or what would you call that? A hate train? I haven't really been all that interested in a Pokemon game since, like, Hard Gold, Soul Silver. Yeah, I'm a normie. And while that might be a normie Pokemon opinion, I'm actually happy to admit it, honestly. I just wasn't really able to connect with any mainline Pokemon games since, and it slowly pushed me away from the franchise as a whole. Well, in swoops Pokemon Legends Arceus, right alongside my absolute desire to play literally any video game that isn't Super Mario Odyssey for my Nintendo Switch, almost like a deranged match made in heaven. I'm not gonna sit here and pretend like it's perfect. It's definitely far from it, actually. But boy, did it bring me back to enjoying a Pokemon game. There are just so many things that this game does right. Fuck yeah, Cyndaquil is a starter! The exploration, the sneaking up on Pokemon just to slap them in the back with a Pokeball, the easy-to-grasp controls, well, kinda on that one. It just all fits together like a glove that makes getting into the experience so rewarding. The game starts off as any good Pokemon game does. Who are you? Where are you? Why is a big-ass Pokemon taking my cell phone and downgrading it to my mum's iPhone with one of those big, bulky, cute cases? Arceus better not be going through any of my shit, man. Anyway, then we move right along as per usual. Lots of dialogue, learn how to catch some Pokemon, and then lots of dialogue. If there's one thing about Legends of Arceus that sticks out like a sore thumb, it's that it just refuses to let you move on before it's told you the same thing at a minimum like 5 times. Sort of like Game Freak learned what exposition was for the first time, and just jam-packed it basically into every dialogue box. Thanks, guys. I can't really tell if this one annoys me more than it should because I'm not a child, but hopefully I'm not the only one here. Once you eventually do get into the game though, things become far more enjoyable. You're led through a tutorial, as expected, but once you're left to your own devices, you really quickly get lost in all of the fun. You start wandering around, you get taught how to fill out this game's rendition of the Pokédex, which offers a lot of different tasks you can choose from to fill out the dex to earn experience, and then you just start sneaking up on Pokemon, surprise attacking them, you throw your own Pokemon at trees and rocks to collect items and ingredients, and oh my god, it just instantly starts satisfying so many parts of your brain. I instantly felt like I was back in Borderlands heaven, just looting and shooting everything around me, while also hurling Pokeballs at unsuspecting Wurmples and Weasels. And this is only the first area. This game is definitely going to be a hit for you if the idea of running around throwing a variety of Pokeballs at a wide gamut of Pokemon sounds like a nice chill time. It's what you're going to be doing for most of the game after all, and while we're on the topic of capturing copious amounts of Pokemon, how nice is it that we can mass release Pokemon? What a nice little sprinkle of an addition that definitely would have made the gameplay feel sluggish without it. Now if only Mario Odyssey devs would have thought about that. Hey Toadette, hi! Eventually you do have to leave the first area though to progress things forward. Not that you'd really want to because of all the dialogue. Sorry. I'm never gonna let this one go. Now, of course, not everything about this game is finished. There are a few hitches here and there, from Bidooft's flying to some sometimes wonky AI, but honestly, there's just so much positive happening that it's incredibly easy to overlook. I know that opinion is somewhat based, if you will, and a lot of haters of Pokemon games will probably just call you a fanboy for even insinuating such a thing, but might I remind you that I don't give a fuck about Pokemon. Okay, moving on. Pokemon personally attacking you in the overworld is something that is just so new for this franchise that it's honestly a surprise that it's taken this long. The new battle system is so appealing, and being allowed to run around during battles is something so goofy that just immerses you in a way that literally nothing else really can. I'm on Shinx's side. I'm against my own Pokemon. Fuck it. And while this running around during battle mechanic, at least for me, was mostly used as a way to run in the direction that I wanted to go anyway while the battle is finishing up, like most of my problems in life, it can still be pretty entertaining to get in the middle of fights and get hit during all the commotion. That was a terrible joke. I don't go outside. Speaking of the battles though, the move animations look so good. You can say whatever you want about the overworld graphics, and we will touch on that a little bit later, but you can't say anything on these battle graphics. They look so clean. The new battle system overall is relatively interesting. Being able to choose between agile style and strong style is a new take on the turn-based battles, especially with the move order that you can toggle on and off. They can help add a new layer of strategy if you choose to use it, and that's the fun part. There if you want to use it, but still totally playable without it. My only real question here is, why aren't you using the strong style? What, are you some kind of cool kid that strategizes every single move you use instead of just beating the ever-living shit out of the enemy at every opportunity? Pfft. But you know what isn't clean? My Twitch slopes. The slopes in this game are basically 6 feet high walls, and I want to personally travel to and knock on the door of the dev who coded them and kindly ask them what the hell they were thinking. They won't really understand what I'm saying, of course, but I'll get my validation, and that's what matters. Now, what about the story? Well, I would honestly love to comment on it. I really would, since for once it's actually something different, but after being told for the 5th time to remember that Pokemon are terrifying creatures, I kinda zoned out of all the dialogue boxes. I know it's a kid's game, and they probably expect you to take the story at a far more spread out pace, probably expecting you to just spend most of your time capturing Pokemon, but like, it genuinely felt like it was insulting my intelligence, which is kind of a hard thing to do because I know I'm a bit on the dum-dum side, and I still felt kind of personally attacked. But Pokemon has always been at least somewhat hand-holdy, so I'm not really surprised, more just acutely annoyed. While I won't really talk about anything specific regarding the story, 50% because I didn't actually read any of it, and 50% because it's a Pokemon game and I don't really care, I just want to see cute animals trying to attack me, I will just touch on it and say, you know, it's Pokemon, don't expect anything crazy here, it's not terrible, and for once it's something different, which is nice, but it's not going to blow your mind and change your entire perspective about Pokemon. Just know, and this might surprise you, there's a lot of dialogue. While we're on the topic of pointing and laughing at unusually tiny brains, does anyone else think it's a bit strange for a game that wants you to check the Pokédex constantly to not allow you to open it in battle? Look, my memory is pretty trash, and you bet I'm gonna go into these battles right after checking the Pokédex and completely forget what the hell I had to do. Essentially the Pokemon equivalent of walking into a new room and feeling like a damn sim who just had their instructions removed. Little quirks like this are apparent throughout the gameplay experience, and while they don't totally ruin it, they can feel a little strange and somewhat out of place at the best of times. I did mean it when I said this game isn't perfect. There's a lot that I could rant about, really. The best example of which, right? Look, I'm not exactly an active gamer. I'm not unhealthy, mostly, or anything like that, but I don't, like, run. Which is why I just have to stop and ask, why is the commander on the 3rd floor of the building? I don't want to go up 2 stories every time I have to talk to you. You know what I mean? On a totally unrelated note, the first time I saw an alpha Pokemon, and it stared at me, glowing eyes and all, I just about ran the equivalent of those flights of stairs in the exact opposite direction. Holy shit! What the f*** is that? Then I stupidly turned around, threw my Pokemon at it. Haha. Shit. These things, at least early game, are the game's way of, in fact, reminding you that Pokemon are indeed terrifying. Like that callback? And they are. Please, Snorlax, don't hyper beam me. I have so much to live for. Eventually, you make your way along to a few different areas, you fight some bosses and stuff, and then you unlock the next big element of the game. What do we call these? Mounts? You get the ability to ride on the back of some Pokemon, and each one has their own unique ability. Deer Boy runs fast, Bear Boy can smell good, Claw Boy climbs good, Fish swim, and Bird fly, right? Nothing revolutionary, but adds an interesting element that makes it much quicker to get around, which as an incredibly impatient person is much appreciated. Really, all this is doing is replacing the HM elements from previous games, in a way, and kind of transforming it into something that fits this world and the story they're trying to tell, which personally I think works pretty well. There is just some jank about it. It's definitely not as fluid as it could be, but ultimately it's not a negative addition. I just wish it was a bit more polished. Speaking of replacing things from previous games, it is interesting to see Legends Arceus take steps to work as a standalone game. As there's no second version to trade between to evolve Pokemon, you instead get an item to evolve trade Pokemon. I personally find this to be the best possible solution to this somewhat self-created problem, and in at least my eyes, it's certainly preferable over just giving those Pokemon an evolution at some new arbitrary level, like completely randomly. I also found it pretty cool finding evolution stones just scattered around and collected in normal gameplay. I'll be honest, I wasn't really paying attention to the things I was picking up, and then at one point, I opened my inventory, I saw a Firestone, and my mouth was almost wide open, basically on the floor. No idea why I thought this was so cool or anything, nor did I even have a Pokemon to evolve with said stone, but I appreciated it in a weird way. And just quickly, while cool things are fresh on the menu, crafting! Take Minecraft, take Pokemon, and smush. Wicked new game mechanic to help you keep the gameplay happening while you're out on the field, filling out that Pokedex, so you don't have to go back to the main area and buy Pokeballs or something stupid. Amazing. So basic, and yet so useful, being able to gather most of the resources you need in normal gameplay, and then just reaching into your bag of goodies and creating more once you run out, so that you can keep tossing those balls. I actually love it. It's great. Game Freak might maybe be onto something with this one. With lots of room to improve and plenty of things they could expand on, maybe the future of Pokemon won't be as dull as it seemed for so long. All in all, this game has a lot of fun experiences that a lot of people seem to be sharing, like testing to see if you can swim and immediately regretting it. Yeah! Oh, you can swim! Oh, Pog. Oh, no, you can't. You drown. Or jumping off a really high point as Deer Boy to see what would happen, and immediately regretting it. No. Now, I don't really know why I decided to do that. But hey, at least we're having fun. What are your thoughts on the newest Pokemon game? Were you left pleasantly surprised, or were your expectations pretty much met, whether they be good or bad? I haven't actually finished the game yet. I was kind of too busy making this video, actually. Doesn't really make sense, that one. So I'll catch you guys later. Thanks for listening to my rant. I'll see you all in the next one.